But first and foremost, I would like to introduce everyone to our hostess, Isabella Johnston. If you don't know Isabella, she's a great person to know. She is with OMG Labs and TechHub Orlando.
Yeah.
And
Indianomicon
and lots of other things. She has a podcast, The Intern Whisperer. She does a lot of things, and she also administers this building. So she is very much responsible for us being allowed to come in here and put things.
That's a Mike thing. That was a Mike. You got here because of Mike. Yeah.
And she managed this 1 million cup for a long time.
Yes.
Yeah, I used to be an organizer.
Microphones may or may not work. So
If there's anything you guys need, just let me know. If you want a tour of OMG, we're only by membership only. So if the doors are closed, they need to stay closed. Please observe that. I can also help Mike out with running this building. So if you want any type of a tour, just let me know. And we do have a lot of events that are going on, game jams and startup weekend, which is in October. So giving a plug for both of those things. Yeah.
Thank you, Isabella. And Mike, who she referenced, is Michael Weiss. Michael runs the UCF incubator here and at East Colonial, where we were previously. And he has also been absolutely instrumental in getting us in here and moved and comfortable in that. So a lot of thanks. For the AI-generated, slightly AI-generated coffee and donuts, first thing I'm going to say is Eric Deckers is a jerk. And he's one of my best friends. And if you follow us on Facebook or LinkedIn, you may have seen his post about how he trolled me for the last week and a half. And it culminated with him presenting me with this donut after I had gotten the typewritten letter, typewriter. He used a typewriter and sent me a letter telling me to check my LinkedIn messaging. So, Eric Deckers is a jerk. Who is here for the first time? First time ever. We have a lot. Awesome. If you could please silence your phone. While we do this, appreciate that. Okay, if you're here for the first time, I'm going to ask you 2 questions, and would like you to answer just the 2 questions. Your name, what is your name, and how did you hear about us? We'll start here. How did you hear about us? Oh, NEC, great. You do.
Ross Seidler from my wife.
Seidler and from Susan.
Hey, Susan. All right, you too.
I'm Sauer from Vancouver, and Michael, he invited us to come.
All right, for the first time.
Matt,
Okay.
Lily was out.
All right. Is that it?
No, you want right here.
Oh, right here.
Suja Gusam, and you.
Me.
You're the culprit.
You get what you deserve. Well, we welcome everybody here for the first time, and Jim passed out journals and pens. And if you haven't gotten a journal and pen, let us know, and we'll set you up with one. We are, of course, on all the social medias. Great that people heard about us from the NEC, and we want to start sending people back and forth to organizations like the NEC and really help strengthen the community that way. But we are on all the social medias. Look for us. Search 1 Million Cups Orlando. Like, share, and say nice things about us. And we would really, really appreciate that. And our videos of the presentations that we're recording do show up on our YouTube channel, which is also 1 Million Cups Orlando. So take a look at those and our presenters. Those will be up as soon as I get them up, and you'll be able to review those. I try to get them up as soon as I can, as soon as we're done here. So what is 1 Million Cups? 1 Million Cups is a national entrepreneurial support organization administered by the Kauffman Foundation out of Kansas City. Ewan Marion Kauffman was a staunch supporter of entrepreneurial efforts with donations and endowments to universities and causes around the country and around the world to help build entrepreneurship. And 1 Million Cups is an idea that was started by an article talking about how you can build relationships one cup at a time. We are an inclusive and supportive organization, and we want to be a safe space for people to come up and give their presentations and get feedback on the companies that they're working on, things that maybe they're having a little bit of an issue with, how they're trying to scale, how they're trying to grow, what they're trying to accomplish. And so we want to be a good, safe place for that. We do celebrate this month Disability Pride Month for July. And we want to note that at least 1 in 4 adults in America has some sort of disability that they're dealing with. And so always be mindful when you're dealing with other people of you see 1 microsecond of their world. And just understand that, you know, if you're dealing with somebody that's having a bad day, maybe they're just having a bad moment, or maybe they're dealing with something much, much larger. So we just have to be aware of that. This is also National Mutt Day. National Mutt Day. Now, everybody maybe has a favorite pet or something, and you know, a mutt is something that might have some issues. Maybe mutts have a little bit of issues, and so, you know, we ask that you be kind to mutts.
Look for me and Benji too.
I love you, Eric Deckers, the jerk. Here at 1 Million Cups Orlando, we educate, inspire, and connect. We educate by having presenters come up and talk about their companies, what they're working on, and again, you know, the issues that they may be having and help that they're looking for. We inspire by, as a community, giving back that feedback and asking questions and spurring conversations with those entrepreneurs. And we connect with the networking session that we had before and any networking that you do afterwards, after the meeting, and we hope that you take that on out into the community. Our meetings are run by our 1 Million Cups Orlando Organizing Committee. Can everyone on the committee please raise your hand? Absolutely. Thank everybody for putting all this together. Everybody got here early this morning and got everything set up, and we put a lot of work in behind the scenes. So we really, really appreciate everyone here on the committee, and be sure to thank them as you meet them later. If you would like to present your own company, we ask that you attend. We ask that you be here and join the community and kind of understand a little bit about what's going on and how we do things here. And then you apply. You apply at 1millioncups.com/Orlando. You'll register and apply your company, and then we will get in touch with you. We will help you to prepare your presentation, and then we'll schedule you, and you'll get up here like Josh and Rachel today and present your companies. Orlando is a great place to do business, and there are a lot of support organizations. We had a couple people mention the National Entrepreneur Center. One thing about the committee, the organizing committee, and a number of other people here, if you have something that you're struggling with your company and you're looking for help, chances are we can put you in the right direction and introduce you to the right people. But there are, like I say, there's just a ton. This is but a smattering of the organizations here in town. We also have Bob Reed with Starter Studio over here. Starter Studio is an accelerator program that I've gone through. They're great. So like I say, there's a ton of resources in town. We'd like to thank our sponsors. Of course, the UCF Business Incubation Program, Innovate Orlando, and OMG Labs are the primary leaseholders of this building, and they have invited us into their home, so we really, really appreciate that. The donuts that you enjoyed are from Donut Central, still up at Aloma and 436, so not as close as we were before, but they're still, if you've got a sweet tooth, travel across town and support one of our sponsors for that. Soul Light Coffee, Peter Carey is here, and you're drinking Kenyan coffee, some of the best coffee in the world. So we really, really appreciate Peter and Soul Light Coffee in sponsoring that. We also have Kirkendall Insurance, Mike with Intergrass is not here today. We do have John Swanson with the Real Estate Detective back over there. Orlandopreneur is Rupert. Stoic Dan is, of course, Stoic Dan, our resident philosopher. And myself with technology. All of these companies help in some way with whether it's helping us buy swag or getting the coffee supplies or all the things that we need to do. We are a non-money. We're not a nonprofit. We're a non-money organization. We are completely sponsor-driven and supported, and so we really, really appreciate all of our sponsors. Okay, if you're here for the first time, you obviously got the pen and journal. If you have been here 4 weeks or more, you get one of our travel mugs. Has anybody been here 4 weeks and would like a travel mug? Okay. If you have been here 8 weeks or more, or heard me announce earlier, please take a t-shirt. Please take a t-shirt. Okay. I don't want to take all of them home. And if you have been here 12 weeks, you get one of our wrong ring. This ring looks better. There we go. Our collectible ceramic mugs. Or if you have been here 3 weeks, at least, you also get one of our collectible mugs. And you're presenting. So that's an incentive to present. So, okay, a quick note about the presentations. Our presenters get 6 minutes to give their presentation, and then we have 15 to 20 minutes of feedback for each. Questions? In with question mark. And we ask that you just have one question per person, and that way you give the presenter a chance to respond, and you give other people with questions chances to ask their questions. If you've got a follow-up, if you've got 2 questions, if you've got 5 questions, we'll come back around to you. But we would appreciate you asking one question at a time. This is not a time to pitch your business. This is not a time to tell them, hey, you know what, I can do the thing and the thing and the thing, and I can help you with this, and I can help you with that, and I can do it. And my company is this, and I can do this. No, please don't do that. This is about the presenter. If you want to tell them what you can do for them, say, hey, I would love to get together with you afterwards and have a conversation with you. We absolutely encourage that, but during the time of the presentation and the question and answer, it's about them. And so we appreciate you just honoring that. And the question is brief. Anything that's more than 10 or 15 seconds of a question, you're now talking a lot. So, just think about your question, keep it brief so that the presenter can answer your question and understand it. Again, we encourage dialogue afterwards. Please have a conversation. If you've got something that you think can help them, absolutely have a conversation with them. All right. And with that, we will first invite Joshua Lim. CreatingReal.
All right, so before I start, I'm going to be completely transparent here. On a car ride over here, I kind of made a switch up about how I want to introduce this presentation. So you guys are doing my first test group with this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask some questions. If it applies to you, raise your hand. If it doesn't, just don't. And no judgment here, all right? So who here uses a social platform of any kind? Social media, LinkedIn included, so everyone should have their hand up, right? All right. Now a little bit hard hitter of a question. Who here knows someone or has dealt with anxiety or depression? I have. What about someone that has contemplated suicide in the recent years? What about stuff like harassment or maybe some more serious things? These are all things that we deal with in our day-to-day lives, or we know someone has been affected by this. And we think that just because we have access to people's social medias and their digital lives and we see a post or a reel or a TikTok, that we know everything about them, that we can spread hate and all this weird things online about people that we don't know anything about. We're trying to solve that. So a little bit about my company. We're a software development company based in Orlando, and our main product is a type of social media that is called a social interaction platform. We're focused on community and peer-to-peer interaction, where we allow the businesses and users to connect with each other more in person than rather online. So you may be wondering why a 20-year-old college student is in front of you today. Despite my youthful presence, I promise you our team and I have a more aged mind. We have a lot of experience and are able to develop a complex system like that for hopefully generations to see. So like I said before, we have a lot of problems with social media. It seems like every single day there's a new headline about some teen committing suicide for cyberbullying, maybe a human trafficking scam, maybe there's something with body dysphoria or spreading hate. And we really have this huge social dilemma. It becomes very overwhelming and it just becomes really repetitive. In fact, Edward Tufte, a retired Yale statistician, had this to say in a social dilemma. There are only two industries that call their customers users: illegal drugs and software. And that's not good at all. So let's look at the 5 most popular social media platforms out right now. Right now, they thrive off your attention, engagement, and they're selling your data. This is no new information. Everyone knows terms and conditions contain this information. They've been out for 20 years. All right? And that's a trade-off we think we have to make. We think that in order to have a free platform to support these types of tech giants, that we have to give them our data. And we want to change that narrative. We want to have a huge focus on security and a huge focus on we can get your money without you even have to use our app, which is a weird way to look at it, I know, but I promise I'll get to it later. So like I said before, this whole social media has been dead, and social interaction has come back to life. You see, like I said before, the last 2 decades have been dominated by these tech giants. As you guys probably know, the likes of LinkedIn, Instagram, and such. And these 2 subcategories of industries really just, they're not necessarily bad. I'm not going to diss on them. That's not why I'm here for today. They did really good what they're meant to do, and that's the media portion of it, right? They're here to engage you. The reason why I think that an application like this is not hard to enter a already dominant industry is because we're our own industry. We are separated from them in the likes of we allow you to only interact with people that you know in real life. And what I mean by that is we have 3 main kind of uniqueness to our product that allows us to stand out from the rest. For one, we want you to feel familiar. I know it's kind of contradicting the thing to what I just said, but we want you to feel familiar to where when you use our application, you don't feel like you're learning a whole new ergonomic or layout. We want you to feel like you've been able to use this for years, and the design language is meant to make you feel at ease and simplistic. We also want to show you what's going on nearby. Whether it be pick-up basketball games, maybe fundraisers for small businesses in the area, or even deals with local businesses, we want you to connect with the community. We want you to go out, hang out with friends, and be interactive. We don't want you to spend time scrolling. We want you to spend time consuming. We want you to spend time doing. Lastly, our soon-to-be patent-pending Scan Tab feature is the most unique feature of our entire application. Essentially, the only way you can add people, like I said before, is in person. There's no usernames, no sharing of profiles, no nothing. That means there's no celebrities, there's no catfishing, and most importantly, children are safe on this application. So we saw over the last few years that there has been over 5 billion people using social media or some type of sorts across the entire world. We are looking to hit this smaller market of U.S. residents 10 to 40 years old as we plan to launch to college students first and hopefully influence those younger generations and their parents as well. We hope to really be big hitters in households with upcoming those who are about to start family, and also college kids are looking to kind of get out of their shell. So currently we are wrapping up our development stage, and we look to launch later next month, or kind of this month, July 31st. We're launching at select universities to kind of do some user testing. And then from there on, we look to launch across the 3 to 5 different universities and how well that goes. And in Q4, we look to roll out to hopefully the US and worldwide demand, depending on how well that goes as well. Like I said before, we make money a little differently than other guys. We don't have ads. We don't sell your data. So the events in the app, if they're paid, we take a service fee. This is about half the service fee of Ticketmaster and other competitors. And it makes it a lot easier for users to make events for each other. On top of that, we're launching a second platform later on in early 2025 that allows small businesses to take control of their community and directly interact instead of Instagram ads and TikTok ads, and actually take control of their community and get people in their doors. This is a quick overview of how just even the ticket feature itself can generate enough revenue due to the fact of the matter that we want them off the app, meaning less expenses, but we are able to maximize the profit margin simply by just allowing them to go out in the community and generate revenue through us that way. Thank you for your time. If you have any questions, please let me know.
All right, good job. You
Keep
set
it.
that down. Okay, do we have any questions for Josh?
Yeah, like, what's your gonna be your main method for like marketing that app? And like I guess I'm still not clear on understanding what the main like appeal is gonna be for people.
Yeah.
Because your emphasis is on not being on the app in real world, so like.
So we've seen a lot, at least in the teen demographic, but we've seen a lot of issues with addiction, right? And you may be wondering, well, that's just the teen demographic. So here's how we look at it. So a lot of the younger generation is addicted to their phones. They don't really interact with their families and friends, and because of that, there's a huge issue with family dynamics. There's a huge issue with the job market. It sprouts more into just that. A lot of them feel trapped. They feel like with FOMO being a real thing, they feel that they have to be on a social platform to stay in the loop of things. I mean, social media is more than just social media. It's news, it's politics, it's what your friends are up to, you're in the loop. We want to create an app that you can use as much as you want, but you can stay in the loop without having to be on it for hours a day. So if I'm on Instagram for an hour a day, I may miss a big highlight in a sports game or a big politic thing. But on this app, it's more focused on what's around you in your own circle. And because of that, it allows you to stay present in the moment. So you can use the app 12 hours a day. Sure, that's great. That's good for you. You can use it 1 hour a day. This allows you to fight that addiction and that need to be in the loop because it's only the people that matter around you instead of following celebrities that don't know you, instead of following politicians that don't know you. And if you want to do those things on those apps, that's great. But some people get carried away with that. And we want you to take control of your life. We want you to be able to go out and do things. So we want you to use that app to do those things.
Thank you for your presentation. Why the target market size limited to 10 to 40? 40 plus doesn't attract or?
It does. So that's just like the entry level market. That's what we're targeting at the start. Obviously, we hope that everyone uses the app. I think everyone can benefit from this. There's different applications for it all. I think the easiest way to enter the market is going to be 10 years old is when they're starting to learn how to use, not even tech, but just anything. They're learning at a faster rate, and they develop enough cognitive ability to almost hit that 13 mark where COPA law decided us cognitive enough to make a decision on their own. Now, as far as it goes to 40, that's where you have enough time on your hands to give a crap about it. That's where people start to actually start families and care about it. And most family members, or parents of that matter, care what their children are on. We see a lot of issues now with the rise in technology and iPads and such like that about parents controlling their kids and stalking their social medias or taking over their accounts. And we want to have the parents have a peace of mind that if their kid's on our platform or they're on the platform with a kid, they can actually know that their kid's safe and only interact with people in that society. So the 40-year-old market is a good grasp of that.
Go ahead, John.
This is fantastic. How old are you? 20.
20?
How old are you?
20, yeah.
When did you get started with this? When did you get the concept?
I thought of the idea when I was 13.
13?
I've been wanting to do it for quite a while. I've just been, high school and college are kind of, they're kind of a pain. So.
This is out of this world. What you have achieved already, what you can achieve, what difference you can make is outstanding.
Thank you.
I want to talk to you later.
Thank you.
I think it's phenomenal. Same thing, like he's saying, brilliant. Looks like Web3. So, how for the user that's under 18?
Sure.
Is the parent like custodial? You know, how is that set up for the user?
So that gets into a lot of laws that I don't agree with. So Florida's had a law recently where it's raised to 16. If you ever heard of COPA law, the online law for Children Act or whatever you want to call it, 13 years old age. It's weird because government wants us to ID people, but they don't issue IDs until 16. So what do we do there? Right at launch, we're launching at only college students. So we're not going to really worry about that yet. But when we do fully launch, we're going to add a feature to have a kid account, kind of like how TikTok does it. And it's going to be, the great thing about it is we don't really need to sacrifice more features. And the reason why is because you can't see media from other users. There's no feed because you get to add people, right? So your kid on a playground is going to only add other kids on a playground. If they were to add sorry, it's a trigger warning, a pedophile or something like that, that would be the parents' fault for letting them actually go add the pedophile, right? So if your kid adds a pedophile on my app, they went and talk to a pedophile. They went and talked to a predator or something like that. And that means that this app, you know, at least that anyone they're talking to is someone that you've seen them talk to.
So excited to see. So congratulations on that.
Thank
you. Unless I misunderstood, the add-on talking about a circle of familiarity for your app. So this wouldn't be for small businesses like us because we want to kind of find people out. Am I saying that correctly?
So because of the 6-minute constraint, I was only able to talk about this app today. I talked about the second app that we're going to launch a tad bit, so maybe that's where it came to confusion. The second platform is called Circle Business. It's the business platform for small businesses like maybe you that you run or anyone else here. What that is an all-in-one business suite. It's a POS system, marketing system, analytics system, all in one. We're trying to price it a third of what Toast is. And the way it works is, yes, you want to outreach. That's the whole purpose of why you purchase something like this, right? But what we see is that you guys mindlessly put money into Instagram ads and TikTok ads and hope for the best. You guys hire these gurus and spend thousands and thousands of dollars and they scam you and all this stuff. What we're gonna do is we said these people already are in the area. Like they're already constrained to who they're friends with, right? So why not only show them what's in their area as well, right? You guys don't care about getting a consistent consumer from New York if you're in Florida. You care about getting consistent consumers that are 30, 40 minutes away so they come back to the money place. So if we have a 30, 40-minute radius around your business and we have groups of people that are friends that want to go out, and that's the whole purpose of my app, make plans and go out, we can market your business on our platform and be more effective and way cheaper than that of Instagram ads. Because what happens is you guys pay thousands of dollars, you get millions of impressions, and you get 2 customers. Versus mine, you get 1,000 impressions, and you get 500 customers. That's a great turnover rate. Yes, ideally, in the long run, we'll slowly roll out features like videos. We're going to actually have a reward system. So one of the things we're trying to add in the system is a reward system where when you sign up for the social media, you actually have a rewards account. So any business that we partner with, you will get points and your friends will get points. And you'll be able to redeem those points at businesses, giving them an incentive to try new places for cheaper. You guys just up the price and then say it's cheaper. And then they have an incentive to try new things.
All right, Rod, then Rupert, and then Mary, then.
So it sounds a lot like BeReal. And BeReal had a meteoric rise, went up to 73 million users, and now they're down by 70%.
Of course.
And it sounds, am I right in that?
I'll let you finish your question. I'll let you finish your question.
So the model sounds similar to where you're having a limited, there's no real feed, it's only your friends and things like that. Real never monetized.
Yes.
And so to me, it doesn't look like you're going to have a big enough data set to offer to anyone to monetize. Because events, everything like that, you're charging 7.5%. And so if you're talking about 10 people getting together for an event and you're not able to market that out to the open public, we all know how Meetup has a 10% attendance rate on average.
Yeah.
Like so it seems like a monetization problem, and where maybe you're trying a different take on the BeReal social media app, where it just I'm kind of concerned about your monetization.
Of course, and I'll answer those in 2 parts. So one, I'll address the BeReal. We are not BeReal, and I can assure you that. The difference between BeReal and us is that BeReal is what we call a single layer application. It has one purpose, one function, one everything. And you take it every day, you're done. Our application allows you to do everything that other social medias do without sacrificing it. You can still post, send pictures, text.
But you don't have a feed.
But you can see the feed of who you follow. And you're able to do everything except for...
That's contradictory. You say you don't have a feed, but you can see the feed.
We don't have an endless feed of data from a global audience. So if I were to post something, only my followers or friends, for that matter, can see that. I don't have an endless feed of the feed that you guys are aware of like a TikTok feed or an Instagram feed or even a LinkedIn feed. that a global audience, if you're a public account, anyone can see it. It shows up on suggested. There's no algorithm. It's just people you follow. So in a BeReal sense, yes, the feed is minimal to that sense, but BeReal doesn't have a chat. BeReal doesn't have a social aspect. BeReal doesn't have a map to get you out or in an invite system that allows it to make it easier to see who's going, who's doing what, and all those different things. It has multiple layers to it, and this is a full-fledged, multi-layered social media application.
And you went through a
Okay,
validation process? Sorry.
we're running.
We can talk more later.
Running short on time. So we've got 3 more questions, and then I've got the final question. And let's keep the questions brief, please.
So I commend you for doing what you've done so far. Congrats. I'm having difficulty understanding the value, so if you could touch on that a little bit more for me. And have my experience, your go-to-market is very aggressive, bordering on.
Okay.
So can you alleviate my concerns about that?
Well, I sure hope so. So the first one was the value. Well, it depends. And that's why I was explaining to the gentleman earlier was 10 to 40, that it ranges. I was actually talking to Scott about this a month or 2 ago, and we were struggling to find the person that uses the application. And to answer your question, Scott, from a few months ago, there is not one. There's multiple. There is always multiple. And it depends on who you are as a person.
But you should have an avatar regardless.
We should.
Yeah.
But in a social media industry, I don't think we can. Because the way that a 10-year-old would use a social media application versus the way a 40-year-old would versus a 20-year-old. Now, we are launching with an avatar of a 20-year-old college student, right? Because that's going to be able to facilitate and hopefully actually put that go-to-market in action, right? If that's out of reach, that's okay. I'm 20. Like I said, I'm still, so I may be wrong on that. I'm going to give you that one, right? Sure. But what I will say is this: the value depends on you. If you have a family, if you have kids, I can guarantee that your kid is safe on this application, and I promise you that. I mean, I will pay off your entire kid's tuition if they're not, because I wrote the security myself and I know that. And
you understand that needs to be clear before you can get to the app.
Of course.
Okay.
And I can tell you that if you're using it for yourself, for networking like this is a great opportunity, because this could possibly be something that I don't know what this app can be. I don't know what it is yet. It can replace LinkedIn, because this whole purpose of it is to meet in person and to continuously meet and make events and make plans. So that could be something that helps people connect and network. You can use this from a business perspective. Think about college kids, fraternities, dating life, right? There's endless possibilities about who you can meet, who you can connect with, and it depends on who it is. Okay.
Question.
Of course.
Might address Rupert's question.
Of course.
And it's really beautiful to see young people like you.
Thank you.
Starting such session is right now. Social media, this is just apps. Social engineering.
Okay.
So I would suggest your audience is as well. Just at some point might be that your AI algorithms are safe. You know what I mean?
So we don't actually use any algorithms. We don't for the, because we use it for one feature, which I didn't mention today, but we don't use any of those because of no need for a feed.
You will use it.
So we will for another feature, but I didn't mention it today. But what we do say for a market to make us a little more unique is, like I said before, we're a social interaction platform, not engineer, interaction, because it's interaction based. That's how we create revenue. That's what makes us unique, and that's what our sole purpose is. So we're social interaction based. Social media is all about posting things, and social networking is about, well, that's what LinkedIn is. That's what it is today. Social interaction has never been done before, and that's what we're trying to create.
What's the story behind?
So it's funny. I tried to launch this app. I did launch the app when I was a 16-year-old in high school. The main feature of it was getting an ad. Everything else was really crappy. Is the word I would use for that. And the app was called Soch, and the slogan was creating real connections. And then when I wanted to rebrand this in college, when I was going to restart it after I got through high school and all that stuff, I wanted to make a new name. So I thought Circle would be a great name, like Circle of Friends. And then CRC is creating real connections, is an abbreviation of it, and then the L is like the typing innovation. So we're going to have an innovation. That was the original plan, but Circle just kind of stuck. So it's all over the place, but it has a lot of meanings from different histories there.
Naming is tough. Actually, I like Soch. I'm just going to say. That's my opinion, which...
Go first.
I'm a groundbreaker. What can, and final question to you, what can we as the Orlando chapter of 1 Million Cups do for you?
You guys already did amazing. Today was everything I could ask for, so this feedback's amazing. But from here on out, just keep coming back and learning from other presenters.
He's working on that avatar.
Thank you.
I
will. Thank you.
All right. Good luck with that. All right, and next, we have Rachel Christian with Unseen Wealth.
Yes. Okay, perfect. Hi everyone, my name is Rachel Christian. Today I'm going to tell you about my financial coaching company, Unseen Wealth. All right, so did you know, you might have heard earlier, July is Disability Pride Month. It's been going on for 31 days now. The observation went and started after the passage of the Americans with Disabilities Act in 1990 to go and help make physical locations all across the United States more accessible. And even though it has been great, there's been a lot of, oh no. It's okay. Just don't count it against my 6 minutes. So even though we've made a lot of improvements and inroads since then, there is still an area of daily life that remains relatively, if not very, inaccessible to people with disabilities, and that is financial services and financial coaching. So what's the problem? The problem is that for people with disabilities, it can be really difficult to access. It can be really difficult to access accurate and relevant financial information and education. Why is this? It is. Yeah. All right, so the problem is that it can be very difficult for people with disabilities to access information about financial services.
You're doing great.
Am I?
A crazy circumstance, so no, you're doing great.
Okay. All right, so that is the problem. Okay. Yeah, sure. We'll just get the rest of the problem. All right, so why am I the right person to do this? I don't feel like I really accurately explained the problem, but whatever.
No, we have the slides back now.
Where were they before? Okay. All right, so. Okay. All right. So whatever. Why I'm the right person to help people with disabilities with their money? Me personally, I have skin in the game. I was diagnosed as legally blind when I was 22 with a degenerative rare eye disease. Doctors say I probably won't go completely blind, but I am what's known as low vision, which means that I have to make accommodations in order to get through daily life. On top of that, when I was growing up, my family always struggled with money. Money was always a huge pain point my entire life. And so about 5 years ago, I found myself in a really rough spot financially. However, I was able to turn it around by learning as much as I possibly could about personal finance and financial literacy. I've also written for several personal finance websites, including Bankrate and Business Insider. And so I just started applying all of the different information that I had learned to my own life. And over the last 5 years, I've been able to pay off $22,000 of my student loan debt, increase my salary over 180%, and go from a net worth of negative $30,000 to $60,000 and counting. Along the way, I earned my designation as a certified educator in personal finance. All right, so why am I doing this? I am doing this because I am personally very passionate about financial literacy. I've seen the impact that it can have on people's lives firsthand. I also genuinely want to help people. I want to share the information and firsthand experience that I've gained, share with people in similar situations so that they don't encounter the same challenges and roadblocks that I did on my journey of building wealth. And then finally, I'm doing this because, to be quite honest, there's nobody out there who's offering this exact service to this specific community. The closest thing I have to a competitor is a nonprofit organization who's focused on winning government contracts in order to provide these services via agencies. They're not focused on taking that holistic, one-on-one approach that really looks at somebody's entire financial life. Okay. What's that slide? Yeah, I don't even know where I'm at now.
Right.
Okay, cool. What was after why I'm doing this? Give me, because I forgot.
Okay. Here we go.
Here's my solution.
Here's my solution. Okay, thanks. Okay, so here's my solution. Provide one-on-one financial coaching specifically aimed at people with disabilities. Currently, I have two primary offerings. The first one is a one-time 1-hour session. The second is a coaching bundle, which includes 4 sessions total for people who have very complex situations or people who need more support or an accountability partner. What does the future look like, or the finish line? It is, for right now, I'm just concentrating on working with clients and growing my base. The goal by the end of the year, beginning of next year, is to create a self-contained module, self-paced, available for purchase on the website. Working title idea right now is Leveling the Financial Playing Field, How to Master Your Money with a Disability. And then finally, kind of the more lofty goal is to help in general to shift the mindset for people with disabilities to a more positive money mindset, as well as help bring awareness about the importance of financial inclusion to everybody. All right, so you guys may be thinking, wow, Rachel, this sounds absolutely amazing. How can we help? So I have 2 specific asks. The first one is any kind of help with branding and marketing, pitching. I want to make my career as a writer, but I am not used to writing or talking about myself. So any help there would be much appreciated. The second ask is for anybody who may be connected to groups or networks that you believe go and benefit from this type of service, always looking for client referrals. And with that, I think that's it, right? Yeah, that's it.
All right. First thing, and this is a fantastic lesson for everybody, because you're nervous a little bit.
Yeah, I was fine until I completely forgot what I was doing.
I don't know how many times you've given this presentation or other presentations, but I want to tell you about all the things that you did right.
Okay.
Because when you give a presentation, you never know that the tech's going to work, or something might go wrong, or there might be a loud, crash outside, or a disruptive person. She kept going. Okay, so. One, that's amazing. That puts you like above 90% of most presenters. Most presenters would get so flustered that they wouldn't know to keep going, and you just decided to keep going. So incredible.
I'm going to take some wind out of your sails. I did want to run out crying. So.
Perfect. No. Perfectly understandable. You didn't. So, with that, who has some questions for Rachel?
How long you been doing this?
Arwen and I started building the company up in January. We officially launched this month.
So, how do you make money?
By working with clients one-on-one. So currently I have a kind of sliding scale system depending on where people are at. Because mostly I want to try and work with as many people as possible right now. But for a one-on-one session, it's between 120 and 200. And then for the coaching bundle, which is 4 sessions, it's 400.
Recommendation for, That's about everything. I would start out by guesting on as many podcasts as you can, and eventually you need your own. It's a lot of work right now with just starting the company and getting the ball rolling, so I don't recommend trying to start your own podcast right off the bat, because that's going to be a lot more work on your shoulders. But I know this from experience from having clients are similar to you, not like focused on that specific demographic, where podcasting, being a guest, and then having their own podcast has been like the
So, I think of a specific demographic that everybody's it's often that might be different than
Yeah, so Dave Ramsey does not, I feel like, speak to the average person. I feel like that's more geared towards maybe people in their 40s and 50s who are trying to aggressively pay off debt before retirement. That's not good advice for the average person, to be quite honest. There's like a strong current of anti-Ramsey people coming up. But I guess your question was like, what distinguishes me? Was that right?
Yes.
Okay. I'm the only person speaking from the disability perspective, so being able to give people, information about ABLE accounts, which are tax advantage investment and savings accounts only available to people with disability. Going and educating them about the different tax benefits, tax deductions that they may qualify for. These are things that, even though there are literally thousands of financial planners and financial advisors out there across the country, a lot of times they are completely overlooking people with disabilities because they assume we don't have jobs, we don't have money, and therefore we're not worth their time. So just having that ability for people to feel seen, I know that sounds a little cliche, but to, hey, I've been there, I am there, I've been through this. I think that personal human element, as well as my education about specific disability needs, is kind of what sets me apart.
This is outstanding. What I achieved is unbelievable.
Thank you.
I want to help you out. You can realize your dream easily. Keep your dream up, put a target, you will achieve it soon.
Rachel, question for you about the cost of the service. Is it possible that you could do group or like in-service style so that cost per person is a little bit less? Because if folks are looking for financial help, they probably don't have a lot of money to spend for a one-on-one.
Sure.
But if you did a group and maybe had 10, that cost.
Yeah, that's a really good suggestion. That was actually kind of the other monetized option I was thinking about besides the self-paced course at the beginning of the year or the end of the year, was to roll out some kind of like group offering. There's a little bit of like leg room to get it set up so that, it runs productively and smoothly and stuff like that. But no, that's a great suggestion for sure.
Jane, then Denny, then Rachel.
That's awesome. I've actually interviewed her before for stories. Yeah, Christine, yeah.
So my question is, I wonder if you've worked with the Center for
No, I haven't. I went and I worked a little bit with the Lighthouse of Central Florida, which is the vocational rehabilitation center for blind, low vision people. But no, that's a really good suggestion. I actually took a course about disability services, and that was one of the suggestions they made was reach out to your local Center for Independent Living. So yeah, definitely adding to my to-do.
Okay. 1 in 4 people have some sort of disability. You need to make yourself known to the organizations here. I'm a disabled veteran myself. Does the Veterans Administration even know you exist?
No.
See, that's something you need to do because they can bring you thousands of clients. You don't know how many people out there have disabilities but certainly have money or they've got visual problems. There's all manner of problems out there. You're sitting on a gold mine.
Rachel, and then Rod, and then we'll finish up with you again.
I'm the other Rachel. Phenomenal job today, Rachel. I've already emailed you a contact, but I'd love if your name was on this last slide here.
Oh yeah, that
but-
would be helpful.
But no, and then do you work with the ABLE accounts at all? Because I did my own research, found out about it, and I was like, oh, this
It's
is
super easy to set up in
like,
Florida.
what?
It's super easy to set up in Florida. I set mine up a couple months ago. One thing that's good is, unlike other states, there's no fees. A lot of states will charge like a recurring yearly fee. Florida doesn't, and it's only open to Florida residents. So I think the whole process took me maybe 10 minutes to set up.
If you can please add that somewhere. I already know.
Yeah.
Danny was saying so many people, because I just didn't know it existed.
I know, and they make it seem like it's only beneficial if you are on government benefits because a certain amount. But the thing is it has a huge tax advantage, especially with investing. So as long as you can, have it as a qualified disability expense, which is literally anything that benefits you, you can have that money grow and take it out without taxes. So it's better than a Roth IRA. Yeah.
So, as far as your business model goes, what were the pricing? What was the pricing?
Sliding scale starting 120 to 200.
Okay. Denny's thought about there's a lot of disabled veterans that have a lot more money. I think you're grossly undervaluing yourself. I'm working with a financial coach right now, and her beginning package is $500. Her common package is $2,500 up to $10,000.
Yeah.
So, it all depends on the market that you want to serve. What I would suggest is a group coaching program for the really entry level, really inexpensive. Have it be like 1 or 2 sessions per month for people. It would be, in the double digits, not the triple digits, and then use that as a farming system to give clients for your other programs.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I have this brain dump about approaching disability. In a much broader way. And also serving the underserved. Financial services is kind of like a definitely email use.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, second the group coaching thing, and that I think your prices might be low. And I was I would come have a conversation with you because there's so many. I have coaches as clients, and there's just so many things that you could be doing that we need.
All right. You want us? Great. Rachel, our final question, and you did touch on it, but once again, what can we as the Orlando chapter 1 Million Cups do for you?
Keep being awesome, guys. No, this was really, really helpful. Definitely giving me like a lot to think about as far as the group offering. Would love to talk to any of you guys after, there's not another presentation at the end of today. And yeah, that's it. Great. Thank you guys.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Rachel and Josh. Again, if you guys are working on something with your business, you've seen what it's like to give a presentation, and we've learned a couple things here today, both from our presenters and from just how things at a new venue work. And there's a couple things we're gonna get a different one of these. Because I figured out what was going on. A couple quick housekeeping things. We are guests in this place, in somebody else's home, and so we just, so far everybody's been great. We ask everybody just to continue that. There are offices. When we started, most people hadn't shown up for work yet. This is a place of business, so don't go nosing around into other offices and things without going to the front. And if you want a tour, you can talk to somebody up front or Isabella, and I'm sure they would love to schedule a tour for you. With that, if you have any questions about excuse me, my water somewhere, about the incubator, Michael, if you're hanging out for another couple minutes. There are a number of events going on. in Orlando. I'm going to wrap this up because I'm going to lose my voice. But there's a number of events going on in Orlando. A lot of other organizations that are meeting and doing things. I've been asked today, about other groups that may be more conducive to what somebody else is doing, and we're always wanting to put people into the right direction when we can. So, ask those questions. If you're looking for, okay, where could I network that would help me in the specific thing that I'm working on, please talk to one of us on the organizing committee or anybody here and figure that out. We'll help you with that. Again, we ask you to follow us on all the socials. And like I say, if you didn't like what you saw today, post on somebody else's account who you hate something nice about us. That'll show them. We ask that you connect. Oh, we got to change this map. But this map shows all the local coffee shops, locally owned coffee shops and cafes in Orlando. We ask that you support local businesses. If you're going to go out and have a coffee with somebody, the big guys are doing just fine. Help your local businesses, because we're all entrepreneurs. We're in this together. Next week, this is not correct. We do actually have 2 presenters for next week. Also, next week, the Southeast representative of 1 Million Cups is going to be here joining us, and we're excited to have her. She's going to give a quick couple words about 1 Million Cups. You'll be able to learn a little bit, maybe learn a little bit more, and you'll be able to ask some questions afterwards with that. But we do invite everybody to, of course, come back here next week. You're welcome to hang out and network in this room, and then once you're done, just go on down the hall. That's it. Robert?
Since I've been involved with 1 Million Cups since 2016, and since Scott has come on board a few months ago, he's brought a new sense of energy and quite the gusto. And we're all very proud of him, and he's worked really, really hard to get this event set up here in this building and working with all the stakeholders involved and everything like that. And I just wanted to say thank you.
I'm going to end on that. See you next week.